See the big rocks, constantly flying towards his group, the opening of the door to space. Then tell everyone. All follow me. They have just entered the center of gravity. A big rock just flew in. 1 second later, no one will survive. The light is not able to escape. Like Zhang Yi, your power is not. It covers every corner around him. As long as he holds his head up, a black tornado hundreds of meters high, I'll put him in the middle. Can't escape. You're not. As a creature from a higher space. He seemed to be making fun of his life. Even when the dawn doesn't know what to do. Next to the voice. Break it for me. He was in a cold sweat and asked Bak Lai Trong Than. Why are you here? A giant knight with a spear emerged from the storm. Will tear a hole. The school district rushed in. Then take the arms of the Enlightenment and pull him out of the storm. I didn't see the scene. Realize it's the deputy investigator. A person with a high level of par-trained capability. You think the defense is strong. But why? You again. How long can we stop our attack? Within VI 3 kilometers. Pieces of snow scattered about. Everything becomes the object of her control. Her energy seems endless. Continue to attack the Kier group. In the back of the attack chapter again. God Ui. I didn't focus on the translation. Without any hesitation, use the power of destruction to fight back. The biggest threat to her right now. It's Trong Yi. Both sides are now emitting strange lights in the air. Immediately buried. Then Zhang Yi's group also left quickly. As they walked, they looked anxiously at Zhang Yi. Translate quickly, speak to browse. Some of my groups, get out of here. This war, it's not something you can interfere with. Crowd tactics don't work. With super Vietnamese mutants. Now on the whole battlefield. People who can affect the raw non-stomach. Maybe it's just a few scattered people. The others stay. It's just a goal. And increase the burden on teammates. So Zhang Yi decided to use a little effort. To take the others away. Even if it's salary, her close quarters combat ability. It's hard to be effective in this situation. Salary would like to say more, but immediately, she recognized Zhang Yi's serious and scary face. Time is running out. Democrats don't want to waste time. Argue with them. They must obey his orders. He was a little scared by Zhang's eyes. But you soon understood. My ability. It is difficult to provide significant support for the disease. It can even hinder their ability to use their power. Go through his space. Let's go. Salary approval. He stepped on the back of the flower. Don't forget to tell Zheng. Be careful. Waiting for Hoa Hoa to go away. Make sure you get to the safe zone. On the battlefield. Red Pepper. Nu Yen Din Hai and the Sky, along with members of the investigation team, become the main force. The danger is not felt after holding the power of experience. It can float in the air. So those who have the capacity to amplify, except for the bar school, they all choose to move back, to support and protect those who are fighting. Mutants as strong as Vu, IP Kong, do not hesitate to leave the battlefield. Enemies with hateful eyes. He's surrounded by explosive ordnance. The glare of light gave off strong blows. It's like the rain shooting towards the ground. They also use their power to strengthen. For teammates. Wei Dian Hai with a violent snowstorm, and consumed with fire in the form of a dragon. Together, We are ready to attack without fear, to consume and distract her attention. Everyone understands that. You want to beat it. Translation is the key. Because there are only his attacks. They are really threatening not to. Corn enemies. Ordinary people have the worst attitude to Zhang Yi. It also shows the professionalism of a team. Elite investigation. Support for translation. Creating the most favorable environment for combat. The cold voice of a nondescript, echoing from above. It's actually a bunch of smelly ants that don't die. You are not. Seen from behind. The plague is trying to attack me. To whisper. There is this person. To find an opportunity to direct our energy. He's not dead. We have to be distracted by him. Not bad in the face. With the attack of more than 10 mutants who feel frustrated. These attacks on you are insignificant. However, you need to always be careful with your dog, who possess the ability to attack decisions. Once you've missed any opportunity, let Zhang Yi beat us. You can also be seriously injured. In the eyes of the undead, a cold white light burst forth. She said out loud, knowing that the end is certain to be death. What are you still up to? That's enough. I'm no longer patient to play this game with you. Let me cleanse you thoroughly. You're floating in the sky. The light from the two LANIs is everywhere. Your power is brought to the maximum. Strong enough to destroy everything. Reminds everyone of the image of the army. They killed hundreds of thousands of zombies in a previous battle. The face of the school and others. Ray meter. Because they feel it. The power of this attack is on par with the weapon used. Right now. Li Longbar shouted, fast run. Run away. He holds the light with one hand. And enemies with keener hands. His body turned into a shadow. Rush towards the epidemic. Right arm extension. Open the door to space. A space door as big as the southern gate. Pepper, Red, and others are doing the same. They know that. Can only rely on Zhang Yi's space door to stop this power. But there are some other bad mutants. Did not run to the place of punishment in time. They screamed in despair. With FLIs destroyed and burned to dust. The white light on the ground disappeared. To breathe a sigh of relief, to think. It's also his space door. Has withstood the attack of the original, not fake. This kind of wide-ranging attack. It can't be like his god. Concentrate all your power on one point. So it's hard to make any threats. To the door of his space. But just this one shot. That have almost wiped out the mutants. False high take advantage of armor. My bone ice is out of size. His armor was as thick and heavy as copper, supporting his entire body. But when the light goes out and sweeps across the ground, his armor broke like paper. False C version, right arm out in front to prevent. And his arm is made of fake stuff. Completely decomposed. At the last moment, he ran into the VI of the door. The space of Zhang Yi to keep alive. There are only a few leaders left, along with some of the surviving investigators. People don't have time to feel sad, because right now, whether they can survive or not, it's also a big problem. They used all their strength, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. On the contrary, they suffered 7 disasters. The ocean wondered itself. Next, how to fight. Waiting to die. False C, use ice to freeze the wound on your arm. But fortunately, he's not a mutant. Specialized in melee combat, so losing an arm can still fight. In my heart, I begin to despair. Of course, clone ranks really can't win SAO. You're not stupid. Look down at the translation and others say. Your power is very strong. But we've absorbed the abilities of 36 people, including the capabilities of the armed forces. How will you respond? She looked at Zhang Yi with a smile at the corner of her mouth. Then point your index finger at him. I want your power too. There's not a single measurement. Like not saying anything. Because for him, it's the best thing right now. He told everyone in a determined way. Now we all have to risk our lives. Anything you can use it all out. Or we could die right here. The enemy bit his teeth and said, You don't need to remind him. We also know. He said that out of his mouth, but he thought. It's even at the risk of death. Can we really win or not? He was a member of the investigation team. He doesn't want to say the opposite. But in my heart, I understand. Zhang Yi's attitude became more determined. Save battle network. There is at least one hope of survival. Or we will die. No danger. Wait until Zhang Yi and everyone is done. Immediately a new wave of attacks begins. This time the attack came from the ground. Beneath their feet, the ground sagged with a loud bang. Hundreds of blue frost spikes. From the soles of the feet up, stabbing people. This is the power of the great grinding cell. Originally, you're just a normal exudative capacity. Can grow thorns from the body. As a fighting trick. When you die, you're left with nothing but broken bones. After the battle with zombies. As in the empty hand. Your power has become extremely powerful. This attack took everyone by surprise. Not in time to prepare. Fluid quickly activates the ability to penetrate the air, to leave immediately. Others are in a hurry to use everything. Even in the face of a storm. They also try to stop attacks. The words of Zhang Yi stimulated the will to fight. They started risking their lives. The enemy bit his teeth. Suddenly, an intense spirit boomed from his body. Make his hair stand up in the sky. In the blink of an eye, his hair turned snow white. There was a strong spiritual force surrounding his body. He soared into the air. Get close to the place. Look at this scene, the police chief. Kwang Min and members of the investigation team, they all show unflinching faces. The school thought quietly. The enemy uses the power of the explosive gun. Drain your mental energy. Using this force too much, it will consume his life. He defied the consequences, start frantically burning his own life. Now the champ doesn't care about the consequences. This action can help him temporarily reach the clone door. The transformation of the enemy attract the attention of non-fake Ra. She frowned, not expecting a new dream to appear. The enemy Korn emits a frenzied laugh. Ha ha ha. He knows what this action means to him. But now he has no choice. Soldiers can be sacrificed for the team. He can do the same. The enemy shouted in a frenzy. Die, give me the natural annoyance, Kier. Around the enemy, countless orbs of light launched from his right hand. They are not willing to attack. In terms of power, it's completely incomparable to before. At least up a few levels. Explosion gun giant moves extremely fast. It also contains a destructive force. It's terrible. He raised his hand high. It's creating a giant photosphere of mental energy. Has a radius of nearly 1 meter, then strongly whipped towards Ra non-fake. Others also work with the enemy. They are not attacking from all directions. Especially the epidemic. He walked around in the back unscathed. Use God to lock her up. Before starting the attack, I didn't dare. She felt the threat of death, and then she coughed. Destroyed again. The light is terrible. Exploding from the center of the universe. It's all over the four sides. The enemy one before one after another. He also used his best power. Terrifying power aerial neutral blend, VA touch. It's a horrible sight. Then it starts to explode, burying everything around it. My view and salary saw this. The shock of thinking. It's over. The white light on the ground disappeared. To breathe a sigh of relief, to think. It's also his space door. Has withstood the attack of the original, not fake. This kind of wide-ranging attack. It can't be like his god. Concentrate all your power on one point. So it's hard to make any threats. To the door of his space. However, this single blow caused the mutant population to, as if destroyed. After a while against many people. On the face. Didn't he finally seem tired? She thought to herself, keep going like this. Sooner or later, we're consumed to death. You can have all sorts of abilities. But the energy in her body has been depleted. Almost all. Facing two mutants in a joint attack. Now, I can't stand it easily anymore. But after this blow, the enemy's state suddenly changed. His face quickly turned pale. The eyes also become dark and old. He looks at you without a grin. This is not really dead. After a moment, he was in a plane crash that fell out of the air. This attack used up all his strength. The school quickly moved forward. A hand to catch the enemy. On the epidemic side, he just fought. Just quickly shoved food into his mouth. He is not afraid of war. Because even if you're constantly using the divine, his abilities can also be replenished quickly. Together with the enemy, they launched a powerful attack. It just doesn't make you tired in the end. However, the current situation is not optimistic. Except for punishment. All the others, they're all slightly injured. The enemy was seriously injured. Can't keep fighting. Red pepper with fresh blood oozing from the corners of her mouth. Even though there is a purgatory. I can't stand it. The power of destruction remains. The ocean lost an arm. The body is almost completely disabled. Only Trong Yip and Bok Li Ching. They can stand on the field. Looking at Bok Lai Long Bar, thinking to people. They can beat the whole thing. Who is almost invincible. Desperation now is the feeling of despair. The power of mutants. For low-level mutants, is that absolute crushing. If it wasn't for the death of our soldiers. Assistant Attorney General even thought about pulling her into Line 5. Become a member of the Jiangnan region. But he can't do that. Because it's a betrayal of the mortal brother. The voice of God is not like the voice of God. You don't need to suffer. It only causes more pain. Just be quiet and let me kill you. Then you too can be freed. Even if it is strong, but only with God. You can't break the experience force of the empty element. I don't feel very satisfied with the strong feeling that I have. The feeling of being able to control and destroy everything. It's really amazing. On the battlefield outside, some members of the investigation team I can't see anymore. Their capabilities, they are not fit to fight with the unfit. They were heartbroken to see their comrades killed. Right in front of you. It's just his salary and his team. Hide behind. The megaliths still retain faith in the translation. The most afraid of death. So, why did he claim to be the hero in the situation? It's not as sure as this. Surely he has a way to spread the word, frankly. Looks like you've reached your limit. You have done more than I imagined. But it was almost as good. Zhang Yi's words were somewhat arrogant. Get people around after listening. Everyone was surprised. Yes, they admit. Zhang's power is great in the control of non-fake raw materials. But in their impressions, he's strong in defense, not attack. Today, if it's one-on-one with him, we can do it in 5 seconds. He was not defeated. So they don't understand. At SA, Zhang Jing changed his attitude so suddenly. Red Pepper practiced thinking silently. He even had a way to kill her. Waving hands to everyone. His eyes are always on the ground. Without leaving for a second. Get out of here. Let me take care of this next battle. Everything has developed so far. Everything happened exactly as Zhang Yi imagined. These mutants are here. The main purpose is to help waste. Strength of raw material does not decrease. From the beginning, campaigns don't expect to rely on them to defeat you without. The police officer looked at Zhang Yi in surprise. Your translation. You're not chasing. Asked the cold. Do you think I'm joking or not? No, no one wants to find death right now. But they don't believe that either. They will be the ones who sacrifice themselves for you. Other like that. But when Zhang Yi said that, they just have to trust him. Red Pepper practiced speaking loudly. Then you do it. She and Wei Hai so, a little hesitation. Determined, he pulled his injured body and ran away. The angel glanced at Zhang Yi and bit his teeth. Zhang Yi, our last hope is for you. So, concentrate all of your remaining energy in one place. Then transfer it all to Zhang Yi. It makes your body feel stronger. More agile. Even the senses. It also becomes very sensitive. The school district attorney told his teammates. You take him away. I'm here to help punish the campaign to the end. The enemy was exhausted and almost out of breath. Get out of the battlefield. The police chief, though his injury was not minor, but he's still in control, and not leave the battlefield. They saw this scene and did not stop it. If the governor wants to fight, let him fight. However, he did not expect the police chief to will have a great impact. Not really. It doesn't prevent others from leaving. As long as you want to. AI in the city of Thien Hai, I can get out of your hands. You're just curious about Zhang Yi's attitude. I don't know this man. The last thing I want is to do something. Li school stick thrown for Trong Yip, a black handgun. Get out now. That's Captain Wu's 6th gun. Zhang Yi frowned and asked the gun, SAO. Deputy Attorney General, there's about 20 rocket launchers inside. Starting a bullet that interested Zhang Yi. That's the bullet. It's designed specifically to fight mutants. They can even intimidate you so that you don't fall. Lift your head and look. I didn't even close my eyes. Yes, we will use them. He looked at the distance and said, everything has to end eventually, right? You don't laugh at this. Who gave you that confidence? You have absolutely no understanding of power. We haven't even used all our power yet. I didn't stretch my arm. The energy around her created 2 violent tornadoes. Her voice became very confident. Now we're just starting to adapt. It holds many new abilities in the body. Don't worry, I'll kill you soon. And then take your power. End words. There was a bigger storm than the last one. Land at the foot of the epidemic, and the school was destroyed. It's getting more serious. Countless pieces of rock soared and floated in the air. Polylong bar, thanks to its flexible speed. Jump on every rock, ready to attack without fear. The dangerous eyes are not cruel. Go to hell. She extended her left hand and aimed at him, with eyes filled with murder. A giant force of mindfulness directly scanned particle field bar out. He's not willing to shout no. Even one person possesses the ability of a powerful amplification system. In the air, I can't use my power either. They don't care about the school. When the ground beneath his feet starts to shake, his image flashed through the air and appear right in front of you, not fake. Space heterosexuality, and its direction is unaffected by the outside. Therefore, as long as Zhang Yi controls the door of space well, he can do it. Move freely within VI 300 meters. Even stop on the middle stitch. You are not. I saw Zhangjing trying to attack me, she said in a pleasant voice. You think you can hurt me in the back? You don't wave your hand. A tornado thousands of meters long appeared. It's like a sword thrust against the wind. But Zhang Yi didn't even hide. He's standing on the ruins of a building. He also extends his right hand. Tornado Kier, completely into Zhang Yi's space door. After a moment, a door to another dimension suddenly opened, on the right side of the square, and the tornado that she unleashed began to strike back at herself. You don't just close your eyes. And that giant tornado was quickly destroyed. You don't say coldly. The door to space, right? Can you stand this trick of mine? Just after a moment of centering, hundreds of tornadoes appear from 4 or 8 directions. The wind turns into a business school, rush towards him. The tornado is blowing through this space. Turn the land into small pieces. Everything is destroyed. But after a moment, the disease appears from outside. He is completely at peace. Even his expression remained as calm as ever. Baklai, school bar, and red pepper training with others. See this scene. It's amazing. I can't help but say. Turns out, he never used all of his true power. In front of us. Maybe there's just a paycheck and other people know that. Zhang's ability to protect his life. How horrible it really is. The space door is too perverted. And now there's also the possibility of space travel. Enough that he's immune to almost any attack. Physics. I can't see that the flu is safe. It wasn't hurt. And the eyes began to creep. But very quickly, she laughed contemptuously. You only know how to hide. You don't even hate the power of Zhanji. But there's no fear. In the past time, they've completed collecting 10 pieces of intelligence about the power of all the mutants in Tianhai City. They analyzed Zhang's power early on. The conclusion is that his defense is strong. But the attack wasn't strong enough. Even though he has divine powers. But this power is too much. Unless it's a surprise attack. If not, no capable of causing damage to the original is not fake. In the fight, in the front, I don't believe that I can't fail. I also believe that I am the same. the smallest incoming arrow against the strongest shield. In the end, AI will be the winner. People who are watching from afar are very nervous. They can only pray for the dead. Chung Yip laughed and made a provocative gesture with no intention. Let's see if you can kill me. My reaction is not crazy. Strengthen the attack even more strongly. The main thing is that she has a head. He, of course, it's been very well calculated before deciding to confront her head-on. And he's got a lot of experience in how to fight with mutants. In the air, the image of Zhang Yi is constantly moving. Hold the ability to go through. His ability to protect himself is amazing. They couldn't lock him up to attack. While the usual physical attacks are absorbed by the door of space. So you just have to expand the scope of your attack. To Zhang Yi, you can't escape your attack zone. You don't speak in anger. I see how you hide. But she didn't expect that. The movement shows a new capacity at the moment. The door of space, despite its large range and strong defensive capabilities, but the weakness is only one direction, and can't move. After achieving this ability, the company is constantly improving it. He's developed a more flexible defensive skill. Space shield. He can compress 2 doors of space into a large-sized shield, then control it with 2 hands. Even though the area is shrunk, but the ability to defend, resist attacks from all directions, more flexible and convenient. He doesn't need his hands to launch an attack. Currently, his only effective method of attack is Godui. Expand translation. And don't stop using irritating words. Let her lose control. He said. You only have a little bit of that. This war is long, and everything of the snows now. They all become desolate, but the plague has not been destroyed. Not bright. Every great attack from the beginning is unstoppable. It's absorbed through the space shield. Then reflect back. The movement is not in a passive state, getting spanked. Once he finds a hole in the ground, he will use his power to attack you. The opposite, she's always alert to the power of the gods. You can't attack arbitrarily, with other abilities. Every time we use God, she must also use annihilation to counterattack. This is what the movement wants. Death will weaken her the fastest. The area around the pagan ruins, within a radius of 10 kilometers, become their battlefield. Spheres of light appear in the air. Everything in the VI will be destroyed. There's almost nothing left. In reality, the current program cannot be compared to the fight of the undead. We can't keep the war too long. The sooner it's over, the better for him. By the power of the angel to support me, and the vast amount of heterosexual food stored in space, it's his ability. While fighting, he's also constantly energized to restore his physical strength and aptitude. If you don't just use the divine power 5 times, he would also be completely exhausted. Advantages of Trong translated is not broken, no experience in combat. There are others. I can only stand by and watch Zhang's campaign. Even the Chief Justice has the intention. Give up the idea of joining the war. In this hierarchy war, his involvement only makes things worse. Ren? Not enough to join. So, people's attitude towards Zhang has changed. From not taking it seriously at first. Now it's amazing. Red training and hypocrisy High both uttered. This kind of defense is just horrible. Fortunately before, we're not going to fight Trong Yi. If we are not sure, we will be the losers. He said with a serious face. However, stretching like that is not the way. There's a level difference between mutants, and the amount of energy in their bodies is enormous, especially after reaching level 5 Phi Harry. It can't be understood by looking at normal mutants. Although the translation can delay the time of the original no stomach, but can't win. If you're not depressed, she could completely ignore him. They attack us first. Vu said no wrong. Everyone's mood becomes heavy. They only have a strong defense. It is not dangerous. You can't kill him in a short time. But if you don't want to leave, the plague couldn't keep her. With the power of the non-agnostic force, her flight speed is very fast. She can completely ignore Zhang Yi. Kill the others first. The school's valedictorian speaks in helplessness. We have no other way, in addition to choosing to trust the exhibits. If they don't really want to kill us, we are sure can't run away from the hands of Fklon. They've heard of Fklon. Top fake mystery power in the USA. You can kill from thousands of miles away, outside the Great Economic Zone. In the face of an absolute disparity of power, all the clever plans are meaningless. Unless the chapter can be one unfalsified, at least make her incapacitated. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense for them to run away. At this time, Trong Loi and his wife, we've been fighting for a long time. In the eyes of the undead, the heat is coming out. She used 10 methods to deal with Shang. Translation. Like a space shield, and the ability to travel through the space of the translation. It's like a pub. They can't be attacked or captured. This makes me not very angry. Your attacks are getting worse and worse. Whenever you use drama, Trong Yi uses divine power. Too large constant power via strong contact. Space again. There are vibrant colors. A building is punctured. It's a circular hole. And then it collapsed.